The lamp was never meant to be impressive, yet it kept glowing long after cities went dark, bombs fell, and power grids collapsed. During World War II, one simple oil lamp became a quiet symbol of endurance, burning steadily through the longest nights when modern electricity could not be trusted. This story isn't about battlefield heroics or famous generals. It's about a humble piece of survival technology that kept families calm, soldiers alert, and resistance cells alive. And once you understand how it worked, you'll see why it still matters today. World War II turned darkness into strategy. Blackouts weren't optional. Cities across Europe, Asia, and parts of North America went dark to avoid enemy bombers. Streetlights vanished, windows were covered. Even a single glow could draw deadly attention from the sky. Inside homes, barracks, bunkers, and shelters, people still needed light. Not bright light, reliable light. Light that wouldn't flicker out halfway through the night. Electricity was unpredictable. Power stations were bombed. Lines were cut. Generators needed fuel and maintenance. That's where the oil lamp came back into its own. The World War II oil lamp wasn't a fragile antique sitting on a shelf. It was built for function, not charm. Most were metal-bodied, compact, and designed to burn safely for 8 to 12 hours without refilling. Some burned even longer if carefully adjusted. The secret was efficiency. These lamps used flat cotton wicks or tubular wicks that controlled fuel flow with precision. Too much fuel caused smoke, too little caused flicker. Wartime designs found the balance and stuck to it. The fuel varied by region. Kerosene was common along with paraffin oil. In desperate conditions, people used vegetable oils, animal fats, or reclaimed industrial oils, though these burned dirtier. The lamp didn't care. It adapted. Here's the interesting part. The lamp's reliability wasn't magic. It was physics and discipline. The wick drew fuel upward through capillary action. No pumps, no pressure. Gravity and material science did the work silently. Once lit, the flame fed itself at a steady rate as long as fuel remained below. The chimney mattered too. Many World War II lamps used glass chimneys shaped to improve airflow. This created a stable draft that protected the flame from drafts and allowed a clean, consistent burn. Even in underground shelters, the lamp stayed calm while the world shook. And unlike candles which shrink and gutter, the oil lamp's flame stayed the same height for hours. That consistency meant fewer adjustments, less stress, and more trust. In civilian homes, the oil lamp became the center of the night. Families gathered around it to eat quietly, read ration notices, or calm children during air raids. The lamp wasn't bright, but it was enough. Enough to see faces. Enough to feel human. In military settings, oil lamps lit map tables, field hospitals, and command tents. Electric lights were risky. Batteries failed, lamps didn't. They could be shielded, dimmed, or snuffed instantly if danger approached. Resistance groups relied on them heavily. A lamp could be hidden, moved, and relit without noise. No buzzing, no hum, just flame. The survival logic behind the design... Well, what makes this lamp so fascinating for survival enthusiasts is how little it asked in return. It needed no spare parts beyond wick material, no wires, no infrastructure. If the glass chimney broke, it could still function with reduced efficiency. If fuel was scarce, the wick could be turned down to a whisper of light that still lasted all night. This wasn't convenience, it was resilience. People learned to trim wicks carefully to prevent soot. They cleaned chimneys to improve airflow. They stored fuel in sealed containers away from heat. These small rituals kept the lamp alive and safe, and safety mattered. A spilled lamp in a blackout could be deadly. That's why many World War II oil lamps had wide bases and low centres of gravity. They were hard to knock over, even during explosions. There's a reason oil lamps still show up in survival kits today. They offer something modern lighting often doesn't: predictability. A flashlight dies suddenly. A battery-powered lantern fades without warning. An oil lamp tells you exactly how long it has left by the fuel level. That psychological reassurance is powerful, especially under stress. Oil lamps also teach resource discipline. You don't waste fuel when you can see it disappearing. You don't leave it burning unnecessarily. Wartime families learned to treat light as a precious resource, not an entitlement. And perhaps most importantly, the lamp provided morale. Light isn't just functional, it's emotional. A steady flame in chaos tells the nervous system that life continues. Why didn't electricity fully replace oil lamps? Well, even in areas where there was power, oil lamps stayed close at hand. Electricity during the Second World War was honestly pretty fragile. Bombing raids often targeted infrastructure, and rolling blackouts were, just part of life. Repairs took time, sometimes a long time. The oil lamp didn't compete with electricity, it backed it up. That mindset is something we've kind of lost. These days, redundancy is often ignored until it's, too late. Households back then understood that one system was never enough. They planned for failure as a normal condition. There's a quiet brilliance in simplicity. There's no grand inventor attached to the Second World War oil lamp, no dramatic patent battle to talk about. Its design evolved slowly, from centuries of oil lighting, refined just enough to meet the moment. And that's really what makes it powerful. It wasn't some flashy innovation. It was accumulated wisdom. Every curve, vent and wick adjustment existed because someone, somewhere, needed light that wouldn't betray them in the dark. Why does any of this still matter? The world hasn't really become less fragile. Power grids fail, storms hit, conflicts disrupt supply chains. The same problems that made the oil lamp essential in 1942, they still exist today, just under different names. Understanding how and why this lamp worked gives you more than trivia. It gives you perspective. Technology doesn't have to be complex to be effective. Sometimes the best solutions are quiet, steady, and honestly a bit unglamorous. The Second World War oil lamp burned all night because it was designed to serve people, not impress them. And that's a lesson worth keeping lit. If you value these forgotten survival lessons and the quiet genius behind them, take a second to support the channel. Like the video so more people can discover these stories. Share it with someone who appreciates real-world resilience. And subscribe to Legacy of Survival for more forgotten skills, tools and truths that history still has to teach us.